he comes on and it screws everything up.
When the show stops working, you guys can thank our IT expert. Dane, introduce yourself. And for those of you guys who don't know, the most wonderful human being on earth who has taught us so much. My name's Arnoldo.
You already introduced me.
We have John Young down here. Guys, make sure you subscribe to John Young's channel. Dane will be working on one soon, and YouPorn is Ken's.
I wish it was mine. I could use the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, you know, $20 is $20.
Exactly.
So
I think Ken bought that shirt, actually.
we've got
No,
some
I
people
didn't.
tuning in. Samuel, thanks for tuning in. Simone. He's in Uganda. That's pretty
Whoa.
cool, actually.
Very
I think-
cool.
Yeah, Adam Parrott's in Uganda right now, like mining gold.
I didn't have the $20 to buy the shirt.
Maybe you could have earned it, Ken. Okay, so those of you tuning in and are not familiar with What Grinds Our Jog Wheels, this is an after-hour show. Normally in our traditional everyday personas or YouTube channels, we are.
No, I couldn't earn it. Monica was out of cash.
Wow, that was really delayed.
Wow. 1978.
I'm telling you.
Normally on our everyday YouTube channels or in-person personas, we are friendly, warm people, except for Ken. This is the after-hour show. We
Talk
are
for
here to
yourself,
bitch,
bitch.
complain. If you are listening to this without headphones and you're divorced the next day, you do not blame us.
That's your fault.
If so, then you'll want to write Ken's Music Services.
Oh, you're
Ken, you were like jumping.
He's like in, he's out, he's back and forth.
Okay, now we're gonna have to get you a new camera. So real quick, before we start ranting about the show, let's talk about DJ Expo. I have some thoughts on
The
DJ
good,
Expo.
the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, Ken, we'll start with you because it won't be long before your camera freezes again. What were your thoughts on DJ Expo?
well, it was my first time being there.
All right.
Well,
I
that was
think
great,
they could have
Ken.
the conditioning on.
Yeah,
You know, that would have been good. The noise levels were absolutely atrocious. I've never been to
yeah.
a show before where everyone's just allowed to turn up as loud as they want and fuck everybody else.
don't say anything. Just wait for it to go.
No other
through.
show I've ever been to. It just lets you be as loud as you want, and everybody else
Oh, no,
can just, kiss your ass.
no, absolutely. And you know what? I got to give shout outs to EV because EV moved their showroom, from the upstairs because nobody freaking goes upstairs, downstairs. Right. But they built this big wall. And guys, if you're not familiar with the ETX series, they will make your grandmother's underwear melt right off. And no issue. I mean, I did not hear the EV speakers, but as soon as you walked in, it was like you were in a hurricane of audio.
They were the closest to us, and I think they were the ones I heard the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
It was impressive. As Ken said, the air conditioning, as you guys know, the Trump is shutting down, but they'll be back up, I'm sure. Matter of fact, we're going to go and place bets. They're going to open up. They're going to wait till union contracts expire because apparently if you have a $9 job, you can petition it. Yay, unions. But I think they're waiting till those union contracts disappear. Then they're going to hire new people because those scabs are doing a much better job cleaning up the hotel than the actual union workers did. Not union that helps us set up. Union like, maids and Consuela and afuera.
Yep.
I
think Carl Icon's going to do a rebrand.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, they said they still haven't finished the renovation. They just replaced carpeting in a lot of the ballrooms.
Yeah.
If he's shutting down, and if he's doing it because of resale value, then that means somebody's going to buy it. So if Carl Icahn does not reopen that place, it's going to be a DoubleTree next year.
Yeah.
Or don't forget, he may be rebranding it now without the Trump name.
And that's what I'm thinking.
I am thinking it's so because just outside our window, they were doing some roof
Travel
maintenance. And you don't do roof maintenance when you're going to be shutting it down in 6 weeks unless there's plans for. And it was knowing enough about what they were doing. It wasn't like there was a leak and they were fixing it. They were actually doing something on a different level. So
yeah,
absolutely. My favorite part about the whole area was how many selections of food do we had? We had Panda Express, Barro, and Diarrhea. And
aren't they all the same?
No. Sparrow. Oh, I was like, hold on. Fuck you. Sbarro's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't get it. It didn't work.
If you think Sbarro is amazing, we need to get you some culture.
No. I'm just talking about as far as like cheap fast food, right? They're better than Olive Garden. As far as their pizza's on point for what you're getting at the Trump. Not to mention that if you did not have the gelato at Sbarro, that was good. Ken, of course, ate the souls of the DJs that, you know, he had to tell that he was a DJ from 1978. Ken, are you?
Thomas.
Huh?
Ken,
I can't hear you, Arnoldo.
I feel like I'm talking to my grandfather post-stroke. Ken.
Oh,
Your lips are moving, but
Yeah, I can't hear you, bud.
How about
and they're not even moving in a pleasing way. Do I need to grab your ears?
yeah, hold on tight, baby.
Wow. Well, that's how this show starts.
Wow.
So Jody mentions in one of the chat rooms here that she was down at the Irish pub. Did you guys get a chance to go down to the Irish pub this year?
no.
No.
What Irish pub? The only Irish pub I saw were like the three drunk guys of the Hard Rock.
No, there's down, and
Stop
I'm
talking
not
about us.
I'm not sure where. It's like down the strip towards the let's see. I don't think it's not as far as Bally's, but anyway, there's a little Irish pub. It's a little hole in a wall, just 100 yards off the boardwalk. Cool little place, and they've got Smithwick's beer. Smithwick's, am I saying it right? But anyway, they've got some actual British beer that's really, really, really good, and you can't find it everywhere else. But anyway, that would have been a highlight if you guys got it. St. James, okay, yeah, on St. James Place. Jody, I need to actually learn how to read. Thank you. Yeah, great food. I've enjoyed that place.
So,
see now, Arnoldo, you're talking food, and I mean, was there any place to go eat beyond White House Subs?
my God, yes, but you have to drive away. You have Carmine.
No. Well, yeah, there's all of those away, but I mean, on site.
On site
No.
now.
I mean, there's Johnny Rockets. Well, no, that's turned out.
Not on,
Again, that's not on site.
not on site. You were talking on site.
There's all these
No,
they
there is
suck.
the Hard Rock. Say what, Ken?
They suck. They suck. They're all corporate food. They all suck.
Well, let's see. When we finished tearing down on Thursday night, I went to look for food at 9:30, and all I wanted was just like a good steak or something.
Uh-huh.
And Hard Rock, that's it.
Hard Rock was the only place open. Even the steakhouse in the hotel closed at 7.
Yep. Big kudos to Hard Rock because at least they're open till midnight. And the Trump advertises they have an Auntie Anne's. Bitch, where? Where the fuck is an Auntie Anne's? I want a delicious pretzel, stuffed with cheese, put some cream cheese on it. Delicious. And you know what there isn't at the Trump Hotel? Just like the actual guy, it was full of disappointment.
Yeah, it was really disappointed. At 11:30 at night, it's like, let's go get a beer. And we went to the lounge that's downstairs.
Yeah.
And, you can get one. It's $7 a bottle.
Yeah.
No effing way am I going to spend $7 on a frickin' bottle of beer at a slum like that. So we go over to the Hard Rock. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, we're closed. Went down to the Margaritaville or whatever the hell it was. That one was closed. So we ended up making a loop and coming back and paying $7 for a frickin' bottle of beer.
So ask me how my day was today. We're gonna start yelling.
You wouldn't think it was, the middle of summer in a beach town
Yeah, no kidding, right?
at sundown.
So guys, guess what happened today?
Yeah, what happened?
today?
I got a call from one of my. They're not a new client. They're new for homecoming. I've had them for prom for a while. I really fought for them for homecoming. Really excited. I'm super pumped to have them for homecoming. And they called me. Everything's good to go. But he's like, hey, I just want to let you know, as a courtesy, I'm not going to say his name because there's going to be some litigation. So if he's watching this, bark, bitch. Yeah, basically he's like, well, the company that you use for homecoming called me and asked us to do the decorating. Are you sure you're in good hands? Question mark. Who the fuck are you? The Allstate guy, you motherfucker? Tell him I spoke. You subcontract. No, first of all, I don't subcontract. You guys know how I feel about people that subcontract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But he's there telling their schools. And I'm finding out this isn't the only school that he's telling that to. Clearly running 4 businesses out of business after they shit talked us was not enough precedent. I'm going to have to slap this guy around like Judge Judy or something. I don't understand. DJs, are you too fucking thick-headed to understand the rules of libel and fraud? You can't tell somebody, oh, this company worked with us if they never worked with you. You can't say this company did something. But here's the best part. He didn't do it in a sales presentation. Dumb shit does it via email.
Oh,
Yes, he's got the email. Right.
But Arnoldo, you got to keep in mind the DJs who do that are people who are too damn dumb to realize that. First off, those things exist. Secondly, they're counting on everyone else to be too lazy and too poor to be able to go talk to an attorney. Because if I go talk to an attorney, I need to have money on the table to get them to listen to me. Otherwise, fuck you. And that's not gonna fly. So you've got to go in there and with money and like whoever else would.
Of course, you're going through Hillary's server.
Well, no, but here's the thing. This guy subcontracts. I mean, I know this for a fact. And I could have told the school, hey, he subcontracts. But, I'm like, okay, you know what? I appreciate you letting me know that. Rest assured, I don't subcontract. I even offered my guy, I'll drive you guys over to my warehouse. You guys can see everything up front. I don't subcontract. I don't believe in it. And I'm real grateful the school had that open relationship with me that they were able to tell me that. But I'm just like blown away. I mean, when he told me that, I'm like, dude, I have no idea how the hell to reply right now. Like, really?
Yeah.
I've had other schools try to land blast us. Oh, four schools only. Oh, they're too expensive. Oh, they're bringing. I mean, I've literally had somebody say, oh, they bring too much lights. Really, bitch?
What?
You do.
Really, bitch?
You do.
No, there's no such thing.
How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you bring impressive stuff?
I've been called inferior skating rink DJs. Funny enough, by a company whose owner couldn't even be a skating rink DJ, so they had him just cleaning the skates. I mean,
Maybe he just meant you
Wow.
That could have
were
been
inferior, that you weren't as tall as the others.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. And again, that's all I'm going to leave it at because I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm just like, guys, look, we're all going to be shrewd businessmen. You don't get to be successful at what you do by being friendly and full of rainbows. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, these are all dicks. Size 12 dicks. They're not nice people to other businessmen. But there's a difference between using the Fair Use Act and, the difference between us and this company versus telling a complete and blatant lie. Not to mention a blatant lie that I'm going to be able to prove. Fine, you want me to prove that I don't subcontract? No problem. Here's the bill of this freaking warehouse and all the stuff that I'm paying for. I don't believe in subcontracting. I don't think it makes you money, and I think it makes you a liar because the school, let's say, hires my company, right? They met with another DJ. They didn't like that DJ, but they hire my company. And then I go and subcontract one of the other company's DJs. You don't think the school's going to call me out and be like, listen, we didn't like that DJ. They cost half the price that you did. So why did I pay you to bring dumbass for less? And even if it's not a DJ, even if it's just a decoration or whatever, it's all part about establishing your brand. I just don't get it.
That goes against everything that's you.
And Dane, I'm gonna pick on you for a second because you and a couple others like, well, that just means you're successful. No, fuck that shit. All right.
But here's the thing, Arnoldo. Go ahead, Dane. Go ahead, and then
it is somewhat of the truth. When you start being successful, people get jealous, and they're going to do shit like that. People start talking smack. When we first started taking a lot of market share and starting hitting a lot of weddings in our area, I had one company that, again, I'm not going to stoop to naming names, but my co-owner ran into him at another show and didn't realize my co-owner was my co-owner. And he's like, oh, yeah, do you know about this company? And started talking shit about us. And then one of my other buddies went to interview with him. And he's like, well, what sort of experience do you have? And he's like, well, I work with Fuse Entertainment a little. And he's like, oh, those guys. And just started, I'm like, some people just have no better way than to start talking shit when they see somebody that they're afraid of.
Yeah, no kidding.
But getting back before you head off to the legality side of it, you can go talk to an attorney, but the attorney or a judge or anyone like that is going to ask, basically, can you show proof that you have lost business or income because of this? You actually would have been better off if that school would have said, Arnoldo, we're going to hire this guy, and we're going to do that, and then given you the information, because now you could have gone in there and said, yes, we know for surely that I have lost a $2,000, $5,000 contract, and because of that, we think we probably lost another $2,000 or $3,000, $10,000. Now the judge would say, "Yep, we have proof of one, and we're going to assume 10 more," and they would have slapped him down. Without that, all you're going to do is a nasty letter.
Here's where it gets interesting, though. And, this is where I tell DJs, you got to be a, member of association. So in this case, I call Drax because Drax has some experience with this, and he gave me some really good advice on where to go. But after talking to him and talking to a couple of people, it also varies state by state. So in Florida, slander is basically that, whether you say it in person or an email, and it can cause, business or, loss of business.
Loss of business, yep.
Then you also have libel, which is basically I'm going to say something that's not true about this company. It's complete defamation of character because in that case it is. But now we're going into a whole different thing. You have, oh my goodness, there's a word that Jack specifically used too. Tortitude or something like that. Fudge, I can't remember. And I'm actually really good with these things. But, it's fraud. And he said specifically, hey, look, this is fraud. I had an attorney that I talked to. Yo, this is fraud. He's misrepresenting himself and your business relationship with you. This would be no different than if I went to a school and I said, listen, I was a DJ for President Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And now Obama, like, oh, wait a second. It's like, no, you were not. So now I cause fraud because I'm bringing his name and his brand into my business when we're not associated. So after doing some research, there may actually be not just civil, there may actually be some criminal matters as far as within our state. But, the thing is this is not the first time this has happened. This is the first time it's happened directly to me like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just amazed. Like, guys, if your marketing is not good enough to sell, you're not a strong enough salesperson, that's fine. It's not everybody's forte or fort.
Let's go forte.
You don't sit there. You don't sit there and yes, if you want to do Coca-Cola or Mac versus PC, that's fine. That's within your own means. But the schools talk about it. Schools don't like companies to do that. But if you go as far as actually telling stuff about your competition that's not true, first of all, you're selling your competition. Because the way that we got started into schools was simply because of school. One of the schools searched us years ago, before we were for schools only, before we ever did a big event. One of the schools searched us out. And they told their current DJ, oh, yeah, we're going to call a couple people as well just to do some research. We're looking at A-Premier Entertainment. And that's where this guy came in. Oh, you don't want to hire them. They're just inferior skating rink DJs. He had no intentions of really calling us. But that reaction from that DJ, they not only called, they booked us. Because he didn't like the attitude of that DJ. And we're all guilty of it. I've been guilty of it. I've had one of my advisors come up to me and say, hey, listen, you met with this other advisor. They didn't like that you said this and this. They thought it was too cocky. I'm like, okay, interesting to know. It helps me find trigger words, for lack of a better way to explain it. Guys, if you don't think a school's not going to call you out when you say stuff like that, or even another bride or something, no one's going to say, man, I'm so glad. I was really in love with this company. I signed a contract, but this guy told me that,
they sucked. Yeah.
I should definitely believe them.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. I don't know if you guys have had that kind of issue. John, I don't know, especially with you being, a public figure in the DJ world, if you've had other DJ related news sites that have tried, committing libel or publishing stuff about you that wasn't true.
Not so much publishing, not true. It's the things that get talked about behind closed doors in the industry that people are busy talking to other manufacturers and pointing this, pointing that, and saying, when we added the DJ and TV world and started that back in 2000 something or other, I don't know, 10 or 11. That was a huge thing that was pointed out that stealing ideas and doing this and doing that, and so yeah.
Real quick, somebody just asked, what is our view on renting out additional lighting when needed? An example, he had a show he had a few weeks back. He was 12 additional clay packy Sharpies. I don't
have a problem with that.
Yeah, if it's only once or twice a year, yeah, I get it, because you're not going to make enough return of investment. However, if you do send them out enough, you're like, I can't afford the 12 clay packy Sharpies, but I could afford a half of them. Then you look at something that's half the price and better. Relations to SPX. But the Sharpie itself is not the show. It's when you say, okay, well, I'm going to subcontract a DJ. I'm going to subcontract the lighting company, decor company. And now you're subcontracting talent, which in that case, what the hell are you other than, an overrated talent manager?
Yeah.
And at that point, you should, first of all, if you are doing that, you are a talent manager and you cannot make past a certain, like there's federal and state laws, varying from state to state on what you can do. So like in Florida, if you subcontract everything, you can't make more than 30%. And you have to have a booking agent license. So if you're subcontracting people, you are not a DJ, you're not a production company, you are a booking agent. You really need to get with your lawyer on that. Because if you ever piss off a company like mine and you say that, and I find out you are subcontracting everything, yeah, you're damn right. I'm going to go after every local law that I can after you. Just friendly warning out there.
Yeah. You kind of took a tangent off the lights to bitch slapping people.
Well, and I don't have a problem with if you're running, like you say, a few lights here and there, whatever, especially if you're trying to build your business. Everyone had to start somewhere.
Exactly.
You're not going to go from a DJ with, 2 moving heads and a few lights on a truss to a production company overnight. It's just not going to happen. But if you're going to the point where you don't own anything in house, and every show for years you're going out and paying somebody to come and do all the lighting for you, well, then you may be misrepresenting yourself.
Absolutely.
See, I look at it a little bit differently. I would say if you can make it work and you can hire someone to bring the shit in and set it up, and you can walk in and be the talent, I would do that in a heartbeat. I mean, I have no interest. If I could keep from owning the gear, and I can keep from maintaining and setting it up, if I could just know that I could pay someone $1,000 to come in, set up, and make the awesome show, and all I have to do is be talent and walk in and do my thing, I'd be all over that. I'd never own another piece of gear.
Then you'll tell your client that you're the one providing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I wouldn't have the conversation, but still, to a point, this is the show that would be brought, or this is the show we're going to be using. I mean, if you're misrepresenting and saying, this is everything, that I own all the gear, and you were going that route, but
no, but it's not even about that, John. Let's use that as an example, right? Let's say that a bride meets with a lighting company. They don't really like their presentation. They saw some photos. They don't care for what they saw. And they meet with you and they like the way you sold it. Now, you may have sold the same thing. You just sold it better. But then the day of, they see that same guy they met with setting up your show. What do you say to the bride when they said, well, why did I book you if you were just going to use the same company I didn't like?
Well, if it was just a sales thing, that's obviously a bridge that would have to be crossed. But there has to, I can see that.
I think the best way is, like, for example, there are very few things. We don't subcontract really anything except staging. And I'm very honest about it. I'm like, look, I don't subcontract staging because I don't own enough panels to make the right job. But this is what they specialize in. They have the insurance. They have the training. I don't want to have to half-ass it. However, if you book through me, I'm going to get you a better deal than if you book through them directly. It's only one check you have to write. But I'm very upfront and honest about that.
Yeah.
There's a local guy around my area, and I don't know if his guys are going to watch. I hope they do because I do respect him. He does subcontract everything. He works with 2 other DJ companies, and they subcontract off each other. But they're very upfront about that. It's like, look, you're not just hiring me. I have the 2 other resources of these 2 companies, so you're always going to get, like a 3-in-1. And he spins it in a way that works out for him. So good for him. That's the right way if you're going to subcontract on how to do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, again, we get it. We all came from somewhere. However, this does not mean that if you can't afford this stuff, you either steal the music. We just had a whole rant about that on a different forum. Or you buy cheap China gear because you think that because it freaking looks like a manufacturer that it's exactly the same. Mm-hmm. I guess Dane has not been enough of these rants. He wanted to rant about it again. I will go ahead and bring one out specific. There's a gentleman in my group.
Probably the same one I'm thinking about.
Yeah, he specifically said, John, Dane, Ken, you guys saw the Eliminator booth with the freaking awesome letters, right?
Amazing.
Yeah. So they also had some, smaller lighting in there. And for those of you guys who are not familiar with Eliminator, they're basically trying to hit the entry-level market. I can't afford a DJ, Chave,
Tell you what, though, they sold some impressive stuff for being entry-level.
They really did. I mean, they're very, very entry-level, but they did have some pretty cool products. Well, this guy's like, well, I bought them direct from China for, 1/6 of the price. I'm like, no, dude, you did not. Because first of all, I know who those factories are. They don't sell direct. They hate selling direct. Now, you may be able to buy it through another person, but even if it was the same light, which it isn't, the internals are going to be different. They're not going to give you the best lenses. They're not going to give you long-lasting capacitors. They're going to give you shit because you're only buying 4 of them. You're not buying 100,000 of them every month.
You're not going to get 0.5% tolerance parts. You're going to get 5%.
Exactly.
Tolerance.
Exactly.
So they're not going to perform the same.
Exactly.
Well, and on top of that, too, a lot of those Chinese lights, a lot of people don't realize they're not UL rated.
Or they have fake UL ratings in them.
Yes.
So then, his thing, and again, he didn't understand how this works. So once I saw that he didn't understand how it works, we kind of broke it down to him because he's like, well, it looks exactly the same. It's just the sticker swapped out. No.
It may be the same case.
Yeah.
But the innards are very
Chinese manufacturers don't follow.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people think, like, for example, a company gets a light and all the parts are made from one area. And that's not necessarily true. you have the light, you spec it out, you spec the internals, but they're going to get the case from another company.
Yep.
So it's like factory to this factory. You want to talk about subcontracting? There you go. Those factories are, and a lot of these factories, like, if you go to ADJ or, maybe even Chauvet, Martin, you go to their factories, they're well-known professional factories, right? You could contact them and say, hey, look, I want to get this light made. And you're going to pay out the ass for the tooling, which means, you're basically making your prototype. If you actually call, these companies that start aiming directly at DJs and say, hey, we make lights for a DJ. No, they don't. Trust me, they would not be telling you that. But if you buy it directly from them, you're not buying it from some big factory. You're literally buying it from somebody's shed where they have a small factory in there. And then they buy the parts from some of these other companies, or sometimes they fall off the truck and they put a half-ass light together and it comes out all Frankenstein looking. But that's the thing. It's like, just like DJs, okay? We've done the rant about this before, where every DJ looks the same. You've got your facade, you've got your scrims.
But it said professional on their website.
Yeah, but that's the thing. All DJs look the same. So does that mean that
they don't actually have a website? They have a Facebook page.
Funny, yeah. I believe you hit on this in your seminar too, Arnoldo.
Yeah, no, right? All DJs look the same.
Somebody told me, well, hey, what about this guy? He goes out for this much. Why can't you? Mm-hmm. And so I looked the guy up. He doesn't even have a website. He's got a Facebook
that aside, page. If your setups look exactly the same, are you telling me that your substance would be different? Because there's no way it can. Because if your outside looks exactly the same, then you're the same DJ. Yeah. Because that is DJ logic. Hashtag DJ logic.
I'll be right back.
Ken's taking a pee-pee.
Rick's the only one with an outfit.
Did we really just stop the show so Ken can go? Oh, not Ken. I'm sorry.
Dane. Yeah.
Pee-pee.
Ken just froze in utter shock.
Ken's like, I already peed myself before this show.
Yeah, exactly. So, I've got my Depends on. I don't need to go.
I really want to yell about YouTube right now. It literally says I have 20 consecutive viewers, and then I'm only seeing 6. What the hell? I don't know. I give up with YouTube. Yeah. Clearly, the 9 o'clock shows do a lot better. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. And I really hope that, watch, this DJ is going to watch me ranting about the whole, libel thing. But, oh wow. I'm really happy the fact that the school was able to tell me about it. And I think at the very least, it's a lesson for DJs to really build as much rapport with your client as possible. So if there's any chance that you could lose your, the sale, or that your client's not going to be comfortable with you, they're going to tell you why. I'll be honest with you. I would much rather have a client give me bad feedback and then I have the chance to fix it than have a client just ignore my calls. Yeah. Because now I don't know if the client is really busy or if I suck. And I hate that. And I hate that so much. I want clients. They take forever to get a hold of. They're always really busy. They're doing so much. And it's like I send them a text. I don't get a text back for 3 days. But I'm living in paranoia for those 3 days. Yep. I'm living in paranoia right now. But it happens.
I think another lesson from that, Arnoldo, is no matter who you're talking to, if you're going to talk smack or you're going to talk shit about someone, it will get back. There's no question about it. It does. And it doesn't matter if I'm talking to a good friend who would not intentionally share something, but things get back. So if you're pissed off about something or you got an axe to grind, you type up that reply on Facebook and you just let it sit there. You walk away, come back, look at it again, walk away, and then delete the damn thing.
Yep.
Let's change it up. Dane had a very interesting conversation. We got to be careful how we phrase this because I don't want to piss any venues off. But Ken, you're in California, so I'm sure you're going to have tons of stories on this one. Venue rules. Dane says the venue we just DJ'd at recently changed their policy to no tape. Oh, God, I hate that. Not even gas.
Yep.
Another venue hung their loading zone to handicap park, or hanged their loading zone. Well,
Change.
Changed their loading zone to handicap parking. So you have to walk across the parking lot with equipment. What the hell is that? Are you freaking serious right now? So, well, I'll let you guys go before I go into another yelling fit. See, here's the thing. I'm in Florida. We don't usually have. Hold on a second. Darul Laughlin just texted me. Upgrade your moving heads and you'll get the job. Good show. Fuck you.
Hey, Arnoldo. Me and him have better moving heads than you.
I want to show you this moving head. Hold on a second. There it is. Look, it's moving around. You guys don't know what we're talking
Miniatures again.
That must be the new Min one.
about. So Dane over here and this other asshole, they got the new ADJ Focus Spot Z3s. I'm perfectly content with my InnoSpot Pros, but I'm like, but that's new and I want it. And they're like, we get better moving heads than you. And I'm like,
it's got focus and zoom and two gobos and
anyway. So in Florida, we don't really have a lot of stupid rules. We do have a couple,
Florida.
Well, no, you know what it is, because we don't have unions that we have to pay to unload or any dumb crap like that. I do have a couple of venues that have done stupid crap, and we don't work at those venues again.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, it's really developing that good line of communication, and then they switch people. And the new person is
you're screwed, yeah.
And you're back at square one again.
Or somebody read a note that somebody wrote a long time ago of their interpretation of something, and they were so afraid of something happening that they
I've been
round
seeing
it down. So they're telling you can't play over 50 dB, and you go in there and the grass grows louder than 50 dB.
Yeah.
So, well, you still can't play that loud. I'm like, well, let's read the law, shall we? Let's not just go off of something you heard from a guy who heard from a guy who was a paranoid fuck who worked here 30 years ago.
Amen.
Yep. I think the thing is just, like when I'm dealing with certain schools and with venues, you have to come in remembering that most likely they dealt with a DJ that is a typical DJ. And by that, I'm sorry, guys, I mean a complete idiot. I have one venue, and I've told the story multiple times, that we're the only ones really allowed to have any fog or haze, because when I first asked them, they said, oh, no fog or haze.
Yep.
Like, you guys are in Reedy Creek, which is the fire department. I can get the permit. No, it's not that. It's just the last DJ set the carpet on fire. How the hell did the DJ
set the carpet on fire?
I'm like,
because he had a 9 Halloween fogger.
No, I mean, I've had big foggers. Like,
was he putting 16 RXs on the floor?
He had that fogger from Spencer's Gifts.
I don't understand it. So I told him, like, look, I'll make it better for you. I'll put my $3 million insurance policy on the line. Worst case scenario, this ugly ass carpet of yours gets replaced on my dime. The carpet was They just changed to a much better
fire.
Well, okay, then we have another venue where they don't allow any fog or haze because they're in the middle of a residential area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So not at all. And also because they have an older fire system, they have beams. Oh, God. They have the RF beam alarm system, which if you guys don't know, said there's a laser beam or RF beam, and if anything interrupts it, including a freaking strobe light, that alarm goes off. You could happy racers and alarms will go off. But then, I talked to Mike, well, can we do, what about dry ice? No, we can't do any dry ice at all. I'm like, well, why? And I explained to him how dry ice works. And like, well, you can come in and test it. So we came in and tested it. Everything worked great. And I asked him, like, okay, I understand why no fog or haze, but why are you guys so paranoid about anything about it? They told me they had a DJ, and I know the DJ is too, because as soon as they describe him, like, yep, no, he is. They said they had a DJ who decided, screw it, he was going to run fog or haze anyways.
Oh.
Remember how I said they have an antiquated alarm system, and they're also in the middle, well, not antiquated, but they have an older alarm system in the middle of the residential neighborhood. Those alarms, as soon as the fire goes on, the building locks itself in, which I don't understand. I mean, I guess it means everybody's going to burn alive.
Wow.
In the middle of a prom, after the sprinklers went off, the doors locked in. So here the students would roll down doors. They could not get the doors back up while they were trying to unlock them, and the sprinklers were going off.
Wow. That's got to be against current fire code.
You'd think so.
I don't know if they have that anymore. This was about 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, they maybe grandfathered in.
I asked him, like, in case of a fire, does everybody burn alive? Like, what happens? Like,
they've got the Great White Fire System.
Can you repeat that?
I said they've got the Great White Fire System.
Oh, God, Ken.
That's a little too close to home.
That's wow. No, I get that. Some venues have these ridiculous ass rules. Some venues have these ridiculous ass rules. By the way, if you guys are watching this, make sure to share this on your Facebook. We will be giving out a high five to one lucky winner tonight. But for those of you guys, for those, we deal with venues because some DJ screwed it up. Just straight up, some DJ messed it up. So, Dane, with that venue that had the whole tape issue, was it because a DJ screwed it up? Why don't allow any tape?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. We're actually going to be there in 2 weeks. We're going to be there on Labor Day weekend. And I plan on speaking with hall manager when we get there, kind of go over, what the new things are. But I did speak to another DJ recently who had been there, and they were saying basically they had even told the person at the hall, look, we use gaff tape, we'll make everything. They made him rip up the tape that they did put down because they didn't know about it yet.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what, though, if somebody trips, what? And then I guess they didn't even force him to have an insurance policy or anything. So he's like, so if somebody trips and I don't have an insurance policy, what then? And the hall basically said, well, that's your problem. No. That becomes the hall's problem.
Absolutely.
And the fact that the hall is forcing them not to use the tape, the hall is opening themselves up to liability. So I'm going to make sure we get any of that in writing.
I would get it in writing that they won't let me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still doesn't make you immune from it doesn't make you immune from a lawsuit.
You'd be named.
No.
You'd be named.
But it includes their ass.
But
why not bring some mats?
Yeah, that'd be what you'd have to do.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
But
you can't really put mats everywhere.
Here's what you want to do. And you may burn a relationship with the venue, but sometimes a call to the fire marshal is the best bet. I had one venue that wouldn't let me come in from the loading doors, which were also fire exit doors. So I was calling for my marshal. Hey, listen, the loading docks are completely closed. They're locked. They don't let anybody in or out. But those also happen to be fire emergency doors. Guess what? The loading doors were open within the hour.
Yeah.
I don't think that venue likes me anymore, but screw it. I don't really care.
But I definitely always think it's best to, talk one-on-one with hall manager before resorting to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hawaii event said, Marvin said, I had a venue that told me I couldn't use low-lying fog because the bride had slipped, but the bride slipped because of her dress. So let me explain to you in a nutshell how lawsuits work. If you guys are not familiar, all of us are familiar with it because we've all sued Ken for touching us, sometimes appropriately. So here's how lawsuits work. Bride gets really, really drunk. Okay. Bride drops alcohol, slips on it, and trips and breaks her ankle. John, who gets sued?
It would be first the venue, which is an easy one. It would be the DJ because they were playing the music that brought her out on the dance floor that was there. It would be the decorating company that had all these decorations around there and were involved with it in some way, shape, or form. It possibly could even be the dress company or maybe the person who sold the shoes because those shoes allowed her to slip and fall.
And the bartender.
The bartender will be, good. And if there's a videographer or photographer there who was sober and professional in the industry who should have seen the problem and helped to rectify it. Anyone there who could see that problem and rectify it is now responsible.
Their parents were birthing a club.
Little bit of knowledge a lot of people don't realize is, we live in a sue-happy society.
Yep.
Anybody who can be sued will be sued.
And we're just listed.
The country in the world with no restrictions on how much you can sue for.
The Great White Fire, even the speaker companies got sued because the material inside their speakers burned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's pretty much borderline mind blowing. But again, guys, remember in the U.S. we live in a country with no laws against frivolous lawsuits, and
so they're going and the attorneys are going to try to list anyone that they possibly could have an angle on, even if it's the janitor who happened to walk by because he had to put toilet paper and he wasn't in the room, wasn't working the room that night, going to be listed on there.
Absolutely.
So it's just
and this is it's one of the things, and I think it's a good kind of lesson for all the DJs. If you're doing lighting, if you're doing trussing, your DJ insurance is not covering it. You may think they do, and they do because they don't know what you're doing. But you need to be honest with your insurance company. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Am I covered? In my case, no. My $400 DJ insurance is not going to cover it. I'm thinking about, I think, $1,900 to I don't fucking know. I let my CFO deal with all. God bless her for it. But you have to let them know because. And I tell this to schools. I'm like, look, the DJ company may say that they're insured. Because at a hotel, they're like, well, we need a $10 million insurance policy. What? What? Well, this DJ company got it. Yes, they have a DJ $10 million insurance policy. It only costs a couple $100 a year, if that, additional.
That's just for a DJ.
When you're talking about lighting and screens and all that, if anything were to happen with their gear, they're not covered.
Yep.
And I told him, like, look, and this was the venue I was telling me, like, I'm telling you this because your ass will get sued. Because if the DJ's not covered, they're going to say, we can't sue the DJ. This guy has no money. Hey, let's sue the hotel because you guys are a one-letter hotel with a lot of money. Yeah, they're going to go after you. And they're going to go after you hard because you guys are supposed to do due diligence. And I'm not saying that, to down talking another company because I didn't know who the other company was. I don't care who the other company is. But if you're presenting me with these facts, I'm going to present you with more facts that you need to check the DJ's insurance. DJs, I'm telling you the same thing. And the moment you have people working for you, if they're not subcontractors, you better have workman's comp.
Damn straight.
One day they're going to get hurt. They're going to go after you. If you think that you're that close with your staff, they're not going to go after you. You may be right. One of my guys got hurt. His company, his insurance sued my workman's. Not because he has nothing against me, not because he wanted to get money out of me. He was actually trying not to get money out of me because he goes, my insurance will cover it. But an insurance company, they can sue somebody to not pay you. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So,
welcome to insurance.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Dane, tell us a little bit about
I'd rather not.
So, I mean, and that's really it. And guys, I'm telling you, Dane is an expert. He does work with an insurance company. So we can't tell you. I mean, their job is not to protect you. Their job is to pay as little money as possible. Mm-hmm. And if they can sue the other insurance company, they will. But now if you're using subcontractors, they need to have that insurance. Your insurance does not cover subcontractors, at least in Florida.
I don't think it does anywhere.
Yeah. GA Mavon, which is through We DJ, and RV Nuccio, however you say it.
Yeah.
You don't cover subcontractors, so they need to have it. And then what happens is if you don't have it when you get audited, because now insurance companies are doing audits, especially workman's comp, and they see, well, you brought this company out, they don't have, insurance, they're going to drop you. What are you going to do when you get blacklisted? I mean, we can all get blacklisted by car insurance. My wife was blacklisted for getting in 2 accidents. She was in a hit and run, not once, but twice, because she claimed PIP. She got blacklisted by Geico. Fuck you, Geico. And Geico started telling other insurance companies, well, she's got a bad driving record. No, she doesn't have a driving record. But that's how Florida insurance companies work. Welcome to a no-fault state.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what business insurance is like? And I don't want to put Dane on the spot, but Dane, I would imagine that business insurance can be pretty ruthless when it comes to covering.
No comment.
Yeah, he probably can't talk about it. Arnoldo, before we go too far off this, let's get back to the actual gaff tape, because there's guys out there who use gaff tape. The thing is, gaff tape varies incredibly. There's good quality gaff tape and there's shit gaff tape. There's some gaff tape that will leave things on the floor, some gaff tape that won't hold your cords down on the cleanest, prettiest surface. You've got to, if you are using gaff tape, in order to keep things like this from happening, you got to use good quality gaff tape. You can't go buy some of this crap. I mean, it's just like
guys will go for like the $10 or $12 gaff tape. That's not real gaff tape. It's essentially duct tape that's just got the fabric in it that makes it look gaffy. A good roll of gaff tape is going to cost you money.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Get a real name, get a brand of gaff tape.
Let me throw a little wrench into that whole thing. I use duct tape. Now, here's the thing. Just like you said, there's good duct tape and there's bad duct tape, right? Yeah. You guys know the main difference between duct tape and gaff tape? Because DJs say, well, duct tape leaves a residue and gaff tape doesn't. And like John, you just said, crap gaff tape will leave residue.
Residues, yeah.
Yes. I have some duct tape that I buy online that doesn't leave residue. But the key difference is that it's really about the backing, right? Your carrier and your adhesive. Gaff tape is vinyl coated. It's like a cloth. It has a matte finish, so it doesn't reflect light. That's why you use it in staging, because you don't want to reflect light. Duct tape is that polyethylene coated stuff.
Shiny inside.
Makes it shiny. So what happens is, and I've had some hotels like, well, you're using duct tape. No, I'm using residue resistant duct tape. It doesn't leave. And I show them, like, look, I use this on my cables. It does not leave residue. Now, if I have it there for 3 or 4 days, it's going to leave residue. Yeah. But
it has a chance to bond.
Yeah, but in my case, I want the tape to be seen. So what happens is, if I buy the shiny gaff tape, it's like $30 a roll. Listen, unless my schools want me to charge them $10,000 for what should be a $5,000 package, because we go through a lot of freaking tape, I use that duct tape. But again, I use the tape. Now, in cases, if we're doing staging, that's gaff tape, of course. But if I need it to just, if I'm doing a 100-foot run, it's only going to be there for 4 hours, I use the duct tape that doesn't leave residue. But I think that kind of scares DJs or in production companies, because they have that, gaff tape doesn't leave residue. John, I'm sure you've seen it. Gaff tape can leave residue.
Oh, certainly it has, and I have. And I've got one cord. I've got a 25-foot extension cord that it was an expensive. I had to think about it when Ben Stowe, one of the first times I met Ben Stowe years ago, paid like $28 for this cord or something. It was high. And one of the DJs went out with it and used crappy duct tape, and they taped it down. And then when I went to pull it up, they grabbed the cord and pulled. Well, when you do that with any kind of tape, the tape will wrap around the cord. Well, because this is a duct tape, it not only left the adhesive on the cord, but this basically mummied and you can't take the crap off. So I've got this expensive 25-foot cord that is my never do this.
No, see, that cord would belong to that DJ.
He just bought it.
After I took the money from him to buy myself a new one.
Yeah, see, I was probably way too much of actually, I don't think I found out about it until like a month later, which really pisses me off whenever I would have that where I'm all of a sudden I'd go use their system just to make sure everything was, hunky-dory. And it's like, what the hell? Why are there's only two bulbs out of 4 are working? What happened? Back in the old days when Par 38s used bulbs.
Again,
well, and that's the thing, gaff tape.
That would have been his bulbs cord, not mine.
And gaff tape is much better into high heat. Duct tape will melt. But, it's the same thing if you have we have Edlin, they do a lot of the electric around here. They use the duct tape, but it's the big white duct tape with the caution inside. Guys, that's not gaff tape. That's polyethylene cloth or back cloth in there. So, they're using duct tape. But I think that is one of the biggest misnomers in our industry. And the other big one, and I get this all the time, we're using a hazer. How do we get the fire permit? Well, is it oil-based or water-based? Water-based. Okay, well, that doesn't set off fire alarms. Who the hell told you that?
Mm-hmm.
That's false.
I don't know. Seriously, I'm not sure what you said. Yeah, everybody here knows that any fog machine can set off a fire alarm with it.
Especially particle detectors.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Particulate in the air. That's what does it.
Yep.
So DJs, if you ever tell a venue that water-based doesn't set off fire alarms, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to come to my house. I have a very sharp blade. I want you to grab that blade and just.
That's actually an interesting fact too. I actually remember doing a show a few years back, no fog or anything, and mid-show the fire alarms went off. What it was the kids were sweating so much, the humidity in the air actually set off the particulate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not had that. We've had the times where the junior high gymnasium was like the stinky, gym sock,
Yeah.
Not had that. Arnoldo, I've got about 5 minutes left. Let's get a good topic here that Ken can go and rant on.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1978.
Let's talk about the demise of 8-track tapes. Damn it! Why are 8-tracks not here?
Radio's still using carts, and it's the same technology.
Some, unless they're on like a DAD system.
Did anybody catch any seminars at DJ Expo?
Yes.
Do they get the award for the worst scheduling of seminars ever? They put me at the same time as the keynote speaker.
The keynote.
They do know what's coming to see you anyway.
Yeah, the keynote suffered.
My seminar was full because I sounded like this the whole time.
You got to get your echo, man. You're gonna work in your time.
Like I said, it was my first time at DJ Expo as well. I expected a lot more.
It's a buyer show. That's
specifically it really is.
And I think that's because there's nothing to do in Atlantic City. So what are you going to spend your money on?
White House subs. Do we have to go back to that again? Seriously, this is what I was there for.
Hey, hold on. Ken, this was your first time at DJ Expo, correct?
Yes.
Did you go to White House subs?
I did not make it there. I was told to, and I was unable to at the time.
I'm so disappointed, Ken.
Me too.
Wait, John, you like White House subs? I don't get it.
I can only eat. Even I can only eat so many times in one day. I mean, come on.
There's just something about the White House.
Everyone else kept picking out these crappy McRestaurants like Johnny Rocket and you can go to coast to friggin' coast.
Yeah.
Why does anybody travel to a new town to go to a restaurant that they can trip over outside their own door?
Oh, do you want me to tell you why, Ken? You want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because my wife is a picky eater, all right? You're going to talk about my wife.
I got that. I could.
Hey. I don't know who picked it. I just know that it was picked, and it's sucky.
You know what? It was funny because Dane and I wanted to go.
McBurgers. I mean,
Dane and I wanted to go to Carmine's, which is amazing. Well, I love soccer.
I've heard that's got to be whenever DJ Expo returns to Atlantic City.
Carmine's, baby. And they're like, no, we don't want to walk.
Yeah.
Dane was in that list too. And I don't want to walk.
That was over to the Tropicana, right? That's the Carmine's.
Fucking Ubered to Johnny Rockets. Hey, you too, Ken. Bunch of lazy asses.
I walked all the way down to the Tropicana for the ADJ thing.
Yeah, no.
And what the hell?
We're gonna Uber.
So this will be. Why the hell does the Taj even exist when you can go down?
Amen.
You go to the Tropicana. It's like, what in the hell? Where did this come from?
Yeah,
it's a clean hotel. It doesn't stink. I have internet throughout the whole. I've got 4 bars of LT.
Whoa! You mean there was actually internet in Atlantic City?
I was all the way through. I could stream through the Tropicana. I mean,
like at the Taj, like they didn't even have Wi-Fi. Period.
Yeah.
Alone, my cell phone was getting like dial-up speeds, if that, when I got it.
Oh, we learned something magical, John. You know those curtains in your room?
Yeah.
They block cell phone signals. I'm not making this up.
Yes.
We were like, what the hell happened to the internet? And I'm like, Monica, did you just close the curtains? Yeah, I opened the curtains. Monica's like, that's fucking ridiculous.
No way, really?
Like, oh my God, I have an internet again. Like, are you kidding me?
Of course, up in the room, I had the Wi-Fi in the window, so.
I was trying to text somebody, and I had to actually go put my phone against the window.
Yeah, I had to do that.
That's because yours is a rotary phone, Ken.
Yeah. The smoke signals they don't show up on the other side of the curtains. You got to get out there where the glass so the smoke signals show.
Is this clear? Can anybody see this?
No, can you turn it up a little bit?
John, funny that you mentioned the Tropicana though, because and again, I'm not trying to plug in mobile beat and all that, but at least at Tropicana, when you're paying the resort fee, it comes with internet. What the hell is the resort fee of the Trump for exactly?
You know that little bar of soap, the little square bar of soap.
It's round.
Big.
Oh, mine
had a cube in it.
Mine was square and it was without
circle,
cube.
And it was about that big.
But it did smell of other things. But that's another story. I got to say though, the gals that were cleaning our floor, they did a nice job in the room. I was very, very surprised. I expected housekeeping to be a weak side of it. That looked good. But again, the gals who are cleaning the rooms are only about 5'0" tall. So anything that's like 7 feet or above. So you got all the different molds up there that you can say, ooh, what's that color?
I think me and Arnoldo actually have a video of all the particulates in the air too.
We pissed off several hotels because we got the 18RX and we shot it out the window and we were hitting a hotel about 1.5 miles away.
Jeez.
You know that hotel down the street with that giant golf ball on the roof of it? Yeah, we lit up the entire golf ball.
It was cool.
From our room.
It was cool. I mean, okay, so, other than that, but the funny thing is that DJ Expo, I think from the end user's perspective, I don't get it. I don't get the big deal. But from the advertiser's perspective, that is a buying show. Yeah. People are coming in to throw money at you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, people.
Which, you know what?
Furniture dollies stacked with lights. People pushing them out the door.
Yeah. But you know, it also helps that there were some great deals being offered there.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, there were, but there was some that you're like, no, you're not. It's cheaper.
Well, but I mean, I think about like Mobile Beat. Last year at Mobile Beat, there's nothing there I would have wanted to buy because first of all, nobody had anything really in stock for you to buy there, and the deals weren't that great as it was.
Yeah,
DJ Expo, I saw plenty of deals. I was like, oh man, I really wish I could buy more right now.
Yeah. But tell the audience what you bought with that rock and roll. What you got that rock and roller for, asshole.
I'm not going to say what I got it for.
No.
Well, no, Arnoldo's making a good point. If you're there on Thursday and you've got room to
gear, that's what he got it for.
Yeah, exactly.
Thursday.
Sorry, John was saying something, and then Ken rudely interrupted.
Thursday is flea market day at DJ Expo. There's no question about it. If you're in there and you got money, you're going to walk out with rock and roller carts. You're going to buy microphones. You're going to buy speakers because there's a lot of these companies that they have no interest in dragging this crap home.
Yeah, correct.
And the smartest thing.
We sold out everything we brought for Ariba. Ariba cases.
Damn.
100% of what we brought and more.
And that's with not even having your booth until partway through the midday.
Yeah, and that was because our stuff didn't even get delivered till 1:30 the first day. So we missed the first, what?
Oh. Yeah, Ken, why don't you go on a rant about that real quick? That
that had nothing to do with the hotel, actually. That was the
drayage
delivery service.
Mm-hmm.
They showed up. They had 4 pallets and 3 tickets. So instead of reading the tickets and reading the pallets and delivering them in proper sets, they just grabbed 3 of them and put out the paperwork. And the one that they didn't happen to take off the truck was ours. So the people signed for it that they received our pallet, and our pallet was off on a truck somewhere with no paperwork.
That's ridiculous. Hey, real quick, we can finish up in a second, but I know John, please plug us in about your show.
Tonight we've got the first 2 are actually with Mike Walter. He's going to be talking a little bit about DJ Expo from his perspective, because he's been part of Expo forever, and he stepped down actually from a component of it. So we're going to talk about that. And then if you follow Mike Walter, he has been doing a Today in Music. He's been doing those throughout the summer. And he's got some just incredible stories. So if you don't follow Mike Walter, go follow Michael Walter. Go do that, because he's got some cool stuff. But he'll be talking about that. Then we've got some games from the guys from Canada, and then we've got our last show of the night. So that'll be coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
So what you're saying is every Monday.
Sunday.
That's right.
It's Jockey News has all the content.
But just a quick give you guys a heads up. When we get into after Labor Day, we're going to switch and move everything up in time. So Arnoldo, I don't know. Hopefully this will work out that we can actually move this to the after time if you guys are going to work for you, because then we can just dig into stuff and we don't have a time crunch. So
absolutely
nice.
But we'll talk about that more later. I just want to give you guys a heads up. But I'm going to need to bounce here.
Thanks, John.
Get out.
Hi, John.
We'll catch you guys later. Thank you for watching.
When you're done with our show, go watch John's.
Yep, you go over to youtube.com/discjockeynews, and that'll pop up the player for you. We'll catch you guys later.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thanks, John.
Thanks. Bye-bye.